So today I want to talk about the color black. I recently saw a video by Sadhguru. If you don't know who Sadhguru is, where the hell have you been, baby? Google him if you must. But I recently saw a video from Sadhguru talking about the color black and how the color black absorbs all the energy around it. And I got to thinking, since this is the case scientifically, since this is the truth scientifically, we know this from NASA studies of black holes. We know this from all of the rays of colors blending together, all of the colors of the rainbow blending together, forming the color black. When you do the research on the color black, you understand that this color absorbs all of the color spectrums. It absorbs all of the colors within the color spectrum. Hence why you mix the colors of the rainbows together and you get the color black. But I wanted to read something to you, and I know it's imperative to this discussion I'm about to have with you right now, this chat I'm about to have with you right now, about the power of the color black. Here's what Google says, and you don't have to take this from me, do your own research. But this is what Google says. Why does black absorb better? Black or dark colored materials and objects radiate, meaning gives off and absorbs heat the fastest. The reason for this is that lighter colors reflect more light. Instead of thinking of dark colors as absorbers of heat, darker colors are actually better absorbers of light. Darker colors absorb more light. Hello. You probably already know where I'm going with this, but in case you don't, stick around. There's so much more I'm guided to share with you. I'm intuitively guided to share with you. When I read that, I wanted to start shouting and stumping all over my apartment. For many reasons, but here's a couple of them. Number one, all of the conversations and rhetoric we've been hearing since the dawn of time from those who have been trying to combat or talk about or bring to light the ideas around discrimination and biases, particularly between dark and light, particularly against those of us with melanin in our skins of the darker hue, aka black and brown folk, okay? I want to have a shifted conversation around the color black. I don't know if you all remember the motif, Black Power. I'm sure you do, right? It used to be a part of this organization called the Black Panthers. Black Power, the idea and the philosophy around that runs much deeper as it relates to what I just read to you about the color black. Here's what I'm guided to share, so let me just get right to it. Because you know scientifically, and because you know based on your own personal experience as a black woman, as a black man, if you're watching this, as a melanin man or woman, whether you are of Hispanic descent, whether you are of African descent, or whether you are of Asian descent, the diaspora, baby, we were dropped off in many different places. So if you have melanin in your skin, it's time you know the true power that you carry. Again, I want to read back through this. Instead of thinking dark colors as absorbers of heat, darker colors are actually better absorbers of light. Darker colors absorb more light. The power that we all carry just based on having melanin DNA is more than what we've been taught. But I'm here to share some shifted perspective with you. But I want to back it up just a little bit here. It really gets under my skin when I hear people say things like dark magic, or that's a very dark person, to try to describe somebody who's evil or wicked, or Um, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black, or black cats, or black male? Okay. Whenever people use these terms, again, going back to, oh, that's a dark person, they're so wicked and evil, do you know that that further solidifies racism and discrimination? Because what you're doing is psychologically imprinting on yourself and others that anything that has to do with the color black, or anything that has to do with darkness, or anything that has to do with the shadows is evil, wicked, and bad. We have got to stop saying black magic. Call it what it truly is. There are people who are out there doing shitty things to people. There are people who are out there stirring in shit to start shit. Call it what it is. It's people starting shit, stirring in shit. Stop calling it black magic. Stop describing people who are wicked and evil, and people who come up with nefarious schemes. Stop saying that those people are dark, wicked people, because every time you do that, you further solidify discrimination and racism. You further and solidify fear in the minds and in the bodies and in the energetic bodies and frequencies of every human being on this planet, that anything that has to do with black is bad, is evil, is wicked, should be disrespected, should be spat on, should be avoided. Stop saying that, because words have power. And I know if you're on this channel, you already know that words are spells, and you are casting spells on yourselves and on others. We wonder why discrimination and racism hasn't truly died down. Number one, it never will die down, because as long as you have people who get to choose free will and choose for themselves, there'll always be people that choose to be against you based on whatever reasons they can come up with and conjure up in their own minds. People have a right not to like you. For whatever reason they don't want to like you, they have that right. So there'll never be a day where we'll never see discrimination and bias and racism. That will never happen. But as long as you continue to say things such as a dark person or black magic, you further solidify and create these wars and these separations between dark and light. There is not a separation between dark and light. They are infinite, equal parts of the same whole, and both are necessary. Can you imagine it being day all the time? Can you imagine it being sunshine all the time? People would never get any sleep. People would lose their damn minds. Right? You cannot have one without the other, nor should you want to. But I need those of you who are watching this who are still using those terms. I've even seen people in the so-called awakened and conscious communities still saying things like that's a very dark person and black magic. We have got to do away with this terminology, because the more you say that, the more you solidify these biases and separations between anything that is dark with everything else. Put some respect on darkness. Put some respect on anything that is black. If you know better, then you'll do better. If you know better, you'll take heed. If you know better, you do your own research. If you truly knew the power of black and of darkness, you'd mind your words. Darker colors absorb more light. This is scientifically so. You can do the research yourself. You don't have to listen to me. Now, let's go back to what Sadhguru says, that dark colors, I think in the video it said be careful when wearing black, because black absorbs energy. Black absorbs power. Black absorbs light. When you know this, when you know that your black skin, that your melanin skin, that your DNA literally can absorb power and light, what would you do with that type of knowledge? What would you do with that type of power? It is a superpower. What are you going to do with that type of knowledge and power? Because you're responsible for what you know, once you know. In watching this video, you now are in the know. So what do you plan to do with this type of power and with this type of knowledge? I know some of you will say, well, that's not what it means. It just means that, just going back to the whole term about black magic, that's not what it means. It just means that people do things hidden in the shadows. And this may be the case, but that's not what's coming out of your mouth. If that's the case, then say that. Say there are wicked people doing things in the shadows. Say that. Don't say that they are dark people and that is what makes them wicked and that is what makes them evil. Because you are placing spells on yourselves and everyone that hears you say that. Since we know that darkness absorbs more light, that is a window of ancient wisdom that has been given to you about the power you carry in your skin and in your DNA. You have skin that's similar to mine. You absorb power. You are power. Let's think about black holes, for instance, right? Black holes in the I don't know, in what people call outer space. Okay. Black holes. They say once a black hole absorbs, takes in something, there's no seeing that again, right? Because it's so deep and so infinite, people don't even know. Once anything is absorbed inside the black hole, there's no evidence of where it goes, because anything that science or researchers have tried to do, try to send cameras in, try to send drones in, it never makes it back out. It is this infinite something, right? This is the same with you. Because you know you are an absorber of energy, of power, you must be very careful and particular about the rooms you enter because of your black skin, because your black skin absorbs energy and power. You must be very particular about the type of people you're around because your black skin absorbs energy, it absorbs power. You must be very careful about the type of things you listen to, the type of music you listen to, the type of things you watch on television. You must be very, very careful about what you are touching, tasting, smelling, hearing, feeling, seeing. You must babysit and guard all of your senses, because as a melanin person, melanin in your DNA, you are absorbing all of the time. And this is a powerful thing. It is an amazing, powerful thing. The problem is we haven't learned how to properly wield this power. The problem is we haven't learned or been taught how to properly activate this power. When I look out at my people, when I say my people, I mean all people really, but those that look like me, I look out at the worlds in meditation one night and I said, well, damn, this is why we go through so much shit as melanin people. Yes, think about discrimination and racism, of course, but that's just the side effect of something much more deeper. Melanin, anything black or dark, goes through so much because of what we haven't been taught about the power of blackness. We go through so much shit as a melanin people based on the color of our skin because we are the absorbers of power and energy. We naturally are going to attract not only hate, but we also attract love. As people with melanin in your DNA, baby, you attract it all. That is science speaking, not just Timmésha. Do your own research. Again, I'll read it to you again. Instead of thinking of dark colors as absorbers of heat, darker colors are actually better absorbers of light. Darker colors absorb more light. As melanin folk, we have taken in and absorbed and attracted and magnetized so much throughout generations and lifetimes, and no one has taught us how to transmute this power and this energy. Because you know that you carry this melanin with you, you must know that it is indeed considered a blessing and a curse. But this is why it's important to learn the power of alchemy. This is why I created Alchemynity. The power of alchemy, meaning knowing and learning how to turn pain into power, how to turn lead into gold. You must learn alchemy if you have melanin DNA, because you are absorbing all of the time, and you must learn how to transmute energy. It is important for your mental health. It is important for your physical health. It is important for your well-being. It is important to come into alignment with your power and your purpose and your reason for coming to this planet. You must learn to transmute energy because you are an absorber of energy. So again, let's go back down the list. Stop saying black magic and that's a dark person to try to describe that a person is evil or wicked, because you are further solidifying racism and discrimination. Respect the darkness and respect the black. If you're saying something is black magic, stop that shit. It's not black magic. It's shit magic. It's shitty people doing shitty things. Call it what it is. If you have melanin DNA, you are an absorber of power and energy. You are an absorber of more light. You are an infinite vessel for manifestation, for creation, for innovation. You must learn how to wield this power. If you have melanin DNA, you must learn how to safeguard your auric field. You must learn alchemy. You must learn how to transmute energy so that you can turn pains into power. You're already born with the system that absorbs power. Now that you know this, what are you going to do with your superpower? This is what makes you a superhero. Literally, you are infiniteness in human form. Respect the color black and act like you know.